So we're starting sprint number 3, and we're going to put on our industrial designer hats again and start on our design model. And keeping in mind that concurrently we have Josh over there working on the engineering as well, and we're going to catch up with him in a few minutes. But first, let's open up our design file. And our next task is actually to iterate on this design. We know the basic shape, we know the envelope of this design, but we want to iterate on different visual features of this. We might want to try different logo configurations. We might want to try different button breakouts or different battery door shapes, battery door openings. And there are infinite possibilities here that we need to explore. And that's what this next sprint is all about. So let's hide our component drop just by clicking on Hide Components here. And I'll just make it small in the tree so we don't have to look at it. And we have our ID master model, but we're not going to actually modify that because we are iterating on this master model. And so we want that to stay intact. We don't want to change that. We want to reference it into some new part designs. So let's go File, New, and we'll make a part this time instead of an assembly. Hit OK. And here's a weird thing. We're going to go to Insert, Part. Now, that's a little weird, right? We're used to the idea of inserting a part into an assembly. But why on earth would we ever insert a part into a part? That doesn't make any sense. Well, let's try it. I'm going to go to Insert Part, grab my Iteration01 solid part, and open that up. Oh, whoops. Pay attention, folks. Look at this. I was grabbing it from the Sprint 2 envelope folder. Let's grab it from Sprint 3. We got to make sure that we're keeping the correct references from the correct folders, otherwise we're going to get all messed up. So, IDMaster01 S3. We'll open that up. And importantly, do not click out here in the viewport because that's going to place it arbitrarily in space. We want it to be centered on the origin. So, let's make sure we're importing surface bodies only, and then just click OK. Do not click out in the viewport. Click OK. All right, so now this thing is centered out here, and we can see we have a new feature in our part called IDMaster1 S3, and it has this little mock arrow at the end made of a hyphen and a greater than sign. And what that tells us is that it is pointing to an external file. This is a reference to an external file, not an internal feature. That's really important. So now we can save this part. Let's say Save As. And I'm going to save this as my ID Iteration01. Hit Save. And we're going to be able to save lots of different iterations here. Okay? So let's go to, first of all, let's just go to our knit surface, and I'm going to knit the top to the bottom. And when we knit two surfaces together, if they happen to form an enclosed volume, then if we check this box for Try to Form Solid, it'll actually convert this from surface bodies into a solid body. And in this case, that's what I want. So now we have a solid body here, and we can see that because it's listed under solid bodies up here at the top. By the way, if you don't see the solid bodies folder, right-click on the tree and go down to, let's see, Hide Show Tree Items at the bottom. And in there, under solid bodies, I just set that to show, so it's always visible. That way, when we'll see it here, and we'll know if there are any solid bodies or not. In this case, there is one. Ha-ha! So now we can start to iterate on this design. We can mess with it. So let's say, for example, we want to add a battery compartment. I'll go to my right plane and create a sketch. And just for funsies, let's grab that fancy conic tool that we like so much. And I'm going to draw a line right about like that and click right about there and make it kind of sharpish, something like so. And let's say I like that split. That's the split that I want for the battery door. I don't have to constrain it if I don't want to. I can just leave it exactly the way it is. Now I'm going to exit that sketch. And with the sketch selected in my tree, I'm going to go to Insert, Features, Split. And I'll select that sketch here in my trim tools and click Cut Part. And that's going to cut the part into two pieces if it can. And it can because I'm overlapping on both sides. I'll click on this battery door because that's the part I want to cut away and hit OK. And now I have two separate solid bodies. It's hard to tell aside from this line here, but if we look up in my solid bodies folder, I have split 1 and split 2. And those are the two halves that I have there. I can hide this sketch that's doing the split operation. And we can actually make these look a little bit more visually distinct just by cutting a penny groove in there. But we'll do that in another video.